Land buying process in Nigeria. I think this is a very sensitive topic we need to pay close attention to because most people have got it wrong trying to acquire property for themselves, especially in Nigeria. So I'll be sharing with you some few points you need to look out for as a new investor or an old-time investor that want to acquire more properties here in Nigeria. I think the first thing you need to do, or a little bit fast because of time, is first you identify your needs. What is your purpose of investment? Why do you actually want to acquire this property? Is it for residential, for a commercial, industrial, agricultural purpose, or whatever? Just identify your purpose for investment because if the purpose of something is not known, abuse becomes inevitable. The next thing is decide on the location. Which location do you actually want to acquire this property? Because location is everything. Location determines if a business is going to do well or not. The same thing with acquiring properties. Your location should be a top priority. After that, you need to set a budget. How much can I afford for this transaction? How much can be kept aside for this transaction? Because most people go into real estate investment and get stuck at the middle of the way because they didn't plan properly. So setting out a budget is very important before diving into a real estate investment. The next thing, after you must have talked about the purpose, the location and the budget, the next is look for suitable land. Now, how do you look for suitable land? You could work with a local agent. You could go through the online property listing or any method, but someone should show you a land that is suitable to suit your desire or your purpose of investment. After that, you need to make sure you carry out a physical site inspection because sometimes what you see in the picture and the video might be different from what you see on ground. So you need to visit the site at which you want to acquire the property from to know if the area and the environment is suitable for you. Because through site inspection, you could know the topography, the terrain, and other geographical and government infrastructures around that premises. So site inspection is a must before you acquire any property. If you can't go, you could send a representative as well. So inspection is also very important as someone that wants to acquire a property. When you must have seen a suitable land, the next thing is to carry out your due diligence. You must conduct due diligence. It's very important. How do you do this? You must verify the genuineness of the seller. Does this property actually belongs to the person claiming to own the property? And by doing this, you need to visit probably Ministry of Lands or any land registrar to make sure you verify the documentation they present to you to know if this person is actually the buyer or not. Next, you need to look out for disputes or encumbrances. If it has any community, family disputes or government encumbrances. And how can you know this? When you chat the land in the Ministry of Lands, the government have interest, you know, or when you visit the neighborhood and ask some questions, or ask people living around that premises if the party has an issue or not. From all this research, you could get to know if the party has a dispute or not. Another thing is to confirm the zoning and regulation of that area. There are some areas you cannot build a high-rising building. There are some areas you just need to build, let's say, a bungalow. So you must understand all these regulations governing that area if it's also suitable for your purpose of investment. So all these factors are very, very important. The next thing you need to do is to obtain a survey plan. A survey plan determines the size and the shape of the property you're acquiring. Without a survey plan, it's actually difficult to ascertain how many or the size of the land. The survey plan must be registered by a registered surveyor. Before you go on with your payment, you must make sure you bring a surveyor to site to pick the coordinates, ascertain the boundary, the size and the shape of the land. Register it in the Surveyor General office so you could proceed with your payment. It's very important. The next is to negotiate the terms of the agreement. There are some agreements you need to go into a long-term payment plan, let's say a flexible payment plan or a 6 months, 12 months payment plan. There are other factors you want to put into consideration when buying. You also bring it up for negotiation. You discuss the price, the payment terms, then you agree on any other condition attached to the sale. This is very, very important too, as someone that wants to acquire a property. So the next thing is to execute a contract of sales. Now, a contract of sales is also a legal document that binds the seller and the buyer with all the terms that was discussed on the agreement to be put into writing. So there could be a legal document protecting that transaction. A contract of sale must be prepared by a lawyer. Understand? So all those terms will be added, how you want to pay, and some witness will also be involved in those transactions. For instance, if you're buying from a polygamous family, some of the family members need to be a witness that they are aware of this transaction. So in future, someone will not come after you dragging the land you have acquired. So a contract of sale must be signed before you make your first deposit. Payments and receipts is the next point. Now, after getting your contract of sale, before you go into any payments, make sure you use a channel that could be traceable. Use a channel that is verified to make your payments to avoid future disputes. And make sure you get a receipt of payment for all payments made. It's very, very important. Now, make sure you transact through a traceable channel to avoid future occurrences. So use a channel that is traceable. Some people say you want to buy, you need to pay with Bitcoin, you need to pay with. So sometimes all these blockchain accounts are not actually acceptable when it comes to land transaction. Use a trusted channel that could be traceable, and make sure you get a receipt for all your payments. It's very, very important. And the next one is to obtain a deed of assignment. A deed of assignment shows a transfer of ownership from the seller to the buyer through the deed of assignment. So it's a document that most cases you get it when you have finished the payment. So contract of sale is a legal document you could hold. When you finish the payment, you will get a deed of assignment. Now, documents must be stamped and registered. Most people get a deed of assignment or a deed of conveyance and it's not stamped and registered. So you must stamp and register your deed of assignment to make it a valid and legal document. The next one is the governor's consent. Consent from the governor helps protect your property for future occurrences. Apply for governor's consent, and you could use the Land Use Act to do that, because every zone has different regulation governing them. But a governor's consent is also very, very important. It's like the C of O in view. Okay, this validates the transaction and make it legally binding. So a governor's consent is one document that's also very important. Finally, final registration. Register the deed in the Ministry of Lands. It's very important. Some of us, the first person to register his or her deed in the Ministry of Lands is the original owner of the property, because when we chart the property, it shows the person's name. So look for any land registrar, Ministry of Lands, to register your deed of assignment, and then obtain a certificate of occupancy, C of O. It's very important too. I think it's one of the highest title property can carry. C of O. When you have gotten your governor's consent, the next thing you can acquire is your C of O. And now ensure that all necessary fees are being paid, because sometimes we try to cut corner or get ourselves in trouble. Make sure you pay all the fees. Take for instance, you want to fence the property, get a fencing permit. You want to build on the property, get a building approval. Discuss with your legal team or your lawyer. They'll outline all the fees you need to pay, both your tax, so you could be the legal or the rightful owner by law of that property. Because if you fail to pay these fees, maybe when passing judgment, if the other party have paid for it, there's a high chances that they might take over the property from you. So I believe this was actually helpful, and we'll be bringing you more updates when we come your way next time. But for now, stay tuned and visit our website at voxcalis.com. So to get more information about the company, or you can as well visit our office at number 173 Sanya Abacha Road, GRA Phase 3, Port Harcourt, River State. Thank you. God bless.